Morning news is on to some news from our neighbours. Despite mounting international pressure, the Sri Lankan government has begun its final thrust to weed out the LTTE. The army is ready to strike within a 17 square kilometre long strip of coastal land, which is a no-fire zone, an area the LTTE is restricted to. But it's not so plain and simple. Over 1 lakh civilians are believed to be trapped inside the area. The Sri Lankan military on Monday claimed 62,000 civilians have come out of the no-fire zone. Now, Lanka estimates that there are only 10,000 civilians still left, even as the UN insists they are around 1 lakh or more. Now, India has repeatedly asked for a ceasefire. In fact, External Affairs Minister Pranab Mukherjee had on Tuesday said that India was closely monitoring the Lankan situation.
I have already appealed to the Sri Lankan authorities to have pause and facilitate the return of the civilians to the zone of security.
Well, it's not just India. World leaders too have sought swift action and an end to the continuing hostilities in Lanka. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has already sent his envoy to Lanka to assess the situation. The American envoy too is in Colombo and has urged for diplomatic solution to the offensive. British Prime Minister Gordon Brown too has sent a special envoy to New York to consult with the United Nations. Meanwhile, French President Nicolas Sarkozy has deplored LTTE's use of civilians as a human shield.
Now, the Lankan government has stuck to its stance, saying that the LTTE is firing against civilians, even as the LTTE maintains that almost 1,500 people have been killed in the past 2 days due to the army's shelling. The world leaders, meanwhile, also maintain that the LTTE is using civilians as shields.
And it's not just world leaders. Concerned citizens across the globe are raising the red flag. Protests over the Lankan conflict have spilled over into Europe and the US. Expat Tamilians are demanding now an end to hostilities.